Well, hello there, Minecrafters. Thanks for coming by. I'm here with QWERTY in Division 2 Puzzle Branch again. Before we continue on, as we're going through this series here, spoiler warning again. If you're just checking out this video, go play the map before, play the puzzle branch at least before you play this. Before you watch the video, I mean to say. Anyway, we're in the puzzle branch. This is QWERTY's map completely. And we last time checked out the Jukebox Maze one. Today we're heading into, you call it the Missionaries and Cannibal one.
Well, that's the puzzle it's based off of. There aren't really missionaries or cannibals in this one.
I've heard of it as the wolf, the sheep, and the cabbage.
You'd see, that's a close one, but that's actually an entirely different puzzle.
Well, it's the same idea.
It's the one everyone references because it's a lot more well-known,
Alright,
but
well,
it's
anyway.
not the actual.
Oh, and by the way, we are on the Tawcraft server. You will see this little thing pop up every once in a while. Thank you very much, guys, from that server for letting us be on here, even though you don't know we're on here. But thank you. Okay, so we call it the Zombies and Villagers puzzle, I guess.
Yep.
Now, we had a lot of thought about this one too. With lighting was, I think, the biggest issue.
Yeah, because the thing with the lighting is, I can't just light everything up because the lighting has to. Oh, let me actually.
Yeah, and take the night vision away.
Night vision.
We added night vision. Oh, particles. There we go.
took away night vision. For
this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yes. So, this puzzle is intended. Like, the lighting indicates which side is active. A lot of people didn't get that, but that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, I think they did. Once they realized the destruction of the fences, they clued into what the lamps do. And they're both on this side. This side you're here, and behind the zombies there as well.
So, and that's also used in the animation, which transfers over the stuff. Basically, I wanted to do this puzzle for a long time, but the reason it's so late in the puzzle chain is I really couldn't think of a good way to execute it. Like, I tried doing it with items, I tried doing it with an actual boat for the longest time, but ultimately I decided an abstracted kind of sci-fi transfer chamber type thing would be the best approach. So
okay. No, it's good. And when I first played this map, like this branch, this one here, I think, stood out to me as something I didn't even think. From first time, I didn't even think this was possible in Minecraft. This really...
yeah, it's not too bad. Although this was the one that gave me by far the most problems redstone-wise.
Yeah, I think so. Oh man. Okay. Well, we'll get into the redstone after. But why don't you kind of explain how this one works?
Okay. So the way it works is you can transfer 2 or 1 creature from one side to the other at any time, and you can transfer 1 or 2. It doesn't matter which, but you have to transfer something. And at any time, the zombies cannot outnumber the villagers, or the fence will break and they will be eaten alive.
Yeah, I love that animation. Okay.
So yeah, and that's pretty much the puzzle.
And you have to get all of them on this side to win it.
Yes, and you can tell because they're all on this side right now, and this door is open, and this room is built in a symmetrical way. So once you transfer them, this door will open, which has a button which will lead to the next puzzle.
Okay, so I have some stained glass that one says select villager, and one says select zombie.
Yes,
now
what you'll want to do
have to be placed on gold, and they can break stained glass.
Yes, so this is the only gold around, obviously. If you make a mistake, you can fix it by breaking the stained glass.
So what we can do, let's see, if I want to move, let's say I want to move 2 villagers, I just do that, and then I have to hit transfer.
Yep. Don't hit reset when you're almost done with the puzzle like some people do.
They break it.
Yeah, and you can
see the cool animation there. Love it.
Bounce them on the other side.
Particles.
And you left this poor villager to fend for himself.
They outnumber, they break, and they're destroying him. And he's dead. Okay, so now you can't win the puzzle. We have to reset it. There you go. Everything gets set. The animations.
Yep, and it actually takes away the transfer button for a while, because if you press the transfer button during a reset, it can break stuff.
More stuff we had to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously that's not the
Yeah.
right way to go about it at first, but it does kind of give you an idea of what you
Mm-hmm.
do have to do. So why don't you show that
All
solution
right.
there?
So the first step, you transfer 2 zombies.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to make one change to this puzzle, I would make this animation a lot shorter because it does get kind of frustrating seeing it so many times.
But it's so beautiful. It's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is a
Okay,
fancy animation.
so that means there's 3 villagers, 1 zombie. So obviously
Yep.
the villagers are fine.
And I gotta send a zombie back because, zombies.
So as we were saying, the lights were on this side. You have to transfer from the lit up side,
Yes.
always. Now we've got more villagers and zombies. So now you are transferring.
Hmm. And I
Uh,
intentionally had to avoid adding lights on the inactive side, even on the little control,
you,
because you can
you,
see even these lights on the back here light up on the lit
okay,
side.
so you moved one back, one there again.
Oh, whoops.
You repeated yourself.
I was supposed to
Redundancy.
move two.
2 zombies?
Yeah, I forgot to place the second one, I guess.
Okay. So there is a couple of ways to do this.
Yeah.
I think I do the villagers second. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure this sea lantern block here was us going, oh, 1.8 new block, let's use it.
Yeah, same with the ceiling.
Yeah, trying to
Little
get a little more
fancy
light in there.
embedded. And this room's obviously code inspired, like
Hmm.
all of them.
Okay, so now you've got you definitely still have more villagers than a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
So you've transferred. Now you're evening them out.
Yeah.
If you go to the next side, you can't. This is where it gets tricky because
Yeah. You have
you
to transfer one and one to keep it even.
you have to do it.
And here's
Otherwise,
where the
one
key
side will
thing
mess it up.
lies. If there are no villagers, then yes, technically the zombies will outnumber the villagers, but they won't bother breaking because there's no villagers. So you can have no villagers on one side and still have zombies there.
Yeah, and I think people get that because it's kind of driven into our mind that zombies want villagers.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of the way it is. All right, so now you've got the 3 villagers on that side.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say then you need to transfer. You
A
could do
zombie.
1 zombie. Then you need
Much
two
like at the
zombies.
beginning.
Huh.
Yes, a key thing here is since all the villagers are on this side, you no longer need to worry about the zombies overrunning the villagers because you
Right.
don't need to move the villagers.
Yeah, I
So,
think once you solve it and you do it again, it's almost too easy.
yeah,
But when
but
you've never done it before, it is very
mhm.
challenging.
But once you know the trick, you can solve it pretty quickly.
Hmm. Hey, the transfer button's still there.
Yeah, sometimes it does that during transfers.
Okay.
I think during transfers it's still there, it just doesn't do anything, but during resets it actually takes away the button.
Ah, okay, that's what it was. All right, and then you finally put all 3. And at the very end, for all your hard work, everybody
They all
dies.
die.
All right. So the
Hmm.
other thing we should say is if you do mess up, oh, I goofed up, you can break it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's that for the mechanics.
Mhm.
The redstone is.
All right.
I
Let's
don't
go
actually
outside.
remember what most of this does anymore.
It's been a while. Well, I guess
I'll
first of
explain the
all,
basics.
start over here. Start over here. We've got
Sure.
the reset button and the transfer button.
Yeah.
So
So this is just lighting stuff.
let's put the night vision on again here. Okay, so here we've got
Yes.
the transfer and the reset button that is
Yeah, which these
activated.
just activate their own little circuits. I'll deal with those later.
Okay, so I guess this side here. What do we got?
Yes. This. Wait, where are you?
I'm
Oh,
I'm
there you
over
are.
here. Where are you starting?
I'll start here. Might as
Okay.
well. So this starts the game. It just spawns the appropriate zombies, and it's a huge mess. And this whole thing is a huge mess. But
Yeah.
yes, it spawns the zombies and the villagers and resets it appropriately and all of that. The meat of the operation is this little animation here. So when you transfer from one side to the other, then it basically activates this little hopper clock, one of these 2 hopper clocks.
Okay. Yep.
And the thing with these hopper clocks is they actually create a little delay for setting a block over here, of all places.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Oh,
this...
what do we have? We have a minecart.
Oh, yes,
They're
because minecarts take
minecarts.
up a certain amount. Now, it sets a block here, and that means it transfers the minecart from this dropper into this dropper, which shortens the length of this redstone wire. And each of these is just
Okay,
one
okay.
step. It's one
Oh, okay. So
step
you're
of the...
actually the length of
Yes,
this is getting removed.
yes.
Very good. Okay.
So over here you can see it actually tests for a sign. I don't think we had execute when I was making this, but it tests for a sign and it summons the appropriate things once the animation has
Right.
ended on either side. So if it
And
goes
we
to the
had
side, it'll
to.
see, does it want to spawn 2 villagers or whatever, and it just checks for a sign here.
We had to specifically, just so it would make logical sense, we had to make sure they all stayed the same profession. We had to make sure the
Hmm.
zombies weren't going to be babies or villagers
Yeah.
or something like that.
So that's that. And on this side, it does the exact same thing, just for this side.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it determines that is actually over here.
Okay. Yeah. Where are
We'll
you
have to
hiding?
fly over
Okay. Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So basically, there is a... When you press the transfer button, it activates this redstone strip right here. And what that does is it tests for blocks. It tests for that little region to see if it matches with these potential selections, because there's only 6 potential selections. You can put green, green, green on top, and green on
Okay.
bottom, which I count as
This
1.
is where you've placed them on the glass or
Yes.
on the gold.
Yes, and it checks to see which one's the correct case.
Okay.
And when it does so, what it does is it sees if you have enough to do that using this little... It's sort of a test for... This would be so much better if I had made this during execute, but alas, no execute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, so it uses a test for...
Yeah.
And it basically sees if the villager is there, or if they have enough of that kind of villager, or that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
And if it is correct, it will set the appropriate sign to 5, which the sign itself is just on a block over here. It's not really important. I just use it as a variable, basically.
mm-hmm.
And it starts up the animation.
Okay. So then the animation is this top layer here gets set back there, or
Yes. Basically, the top layer is for the left side and the bottom layer is for the right side. And
okay.
which one activates depends on which side has been activated,
All right.
basically.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that. The middle one has to be all fancy because it has a couple potentials. Because it needs to check for both zombies and villagers. It can't just see...
right.
Because with
'Cause-
this, I can see that there's at least 2 villagers because the redstone has reached at least to this point. I can't do that with the middle one because it's 1 zombie, 1 villager, so I had to be fancy about it. But
Okay, so you're actually testing for the test for blocks instead of each individual glass. You're just saying this: if this selection is
yes.
true, then I'm going to do this. If this selection is going to do
Hmm.
that, every possible. All
Yeah,
right.
because there's not too many possible combinations,
Yep.
so I can do that. But
Okay.
yeah, so that sets the sign and sets up the little transfer thing, which I already showed you.
Yep.
And pretty much the rest of this redstone is just error checking, just what it's like stuff to account for what happens if you press transfer while it's in progress, or
Yeah.
if you reset, or if you transfer while resetting, and it's not really important.
So if they over there, if they put the blocks in, it's going to set off
Mm.
this chain reaction. And how do we know? So basically, it'll test to see if there's a zombie on the one side, and
Yeah, and it does that over when it sets the sign. If there
mhm.
isn't, then it just doesn't do anything. But
Okay,
if
so
there
the
is,
sign where you have that place the sign command, it
yes.
has to only set if you're allowing it if you have the right amount of mobs in a certain area, I guess. Because if you don't have any villager and you select the villager glass, you don't
Mm.
want it to actually do anything.
Yeah, so it just doesn't do anything. And after the short delay, there's actually a specific timer. I don't remember where it is, but there's a specific timer that activates.
Yeah, I think it's
And
this
after a short
pressure
delay,
plate here.
it gives them the glass back and reactivates the circuit.
Okay, so then finally, how does it know you've got all the mobs on the one side?
Oh, that's the fun part. That's down here.
Okay.
So first I'll actually cover these. This is the circuit that kills them if you have more than one of a certain type.
Okay.
So you see here, left and right, whoops, updating it, remove the success count, but whatever.
Okay.
So
Yep.
test for the villagers and the zombies.
Yep.
Now it gives an output strength of 1 to 3 depending on how many there are. And if there are more villagers than zombies, then or rather, if they're both at 3, then it will activate the game win circuit, which is down here. So that's how it detects if they are both at 3, that there are 3 villagers, 3 zombies.
In that, whatever that,
Yes.
3 by
Yeah.
6 or 3 by 6 area, whatever.
hmm And over here is where it actually, these two are also clones of each other, but here I actually use a comparator in subtract mode to make sure that the villagers are equal or greater to the zombies.
So when you say subtract mode, you mean that it's going to set off, but it's going to invert this torch and.
Yes. And so that inverts this torch. Now there's another catch because if there's no villagers, then the zombies don't attack. So I have to have this. So if there's no villagers, it keeps the torch on and won't activate the damage.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of foolproofing things in
Yeah,
making
most
work.
of this redstone's foolproofing.
This is very complicated for you.
It's I don't like this redstone.
But
After
I
today,
think
I'm going to
the
forget about
complexity
it.
of it is remarkable, I think. It's
Yeah, I
really.
prefer simple redstone,
But when people
at
play
least
the
simple
puzzle,
standards.
I can tell you when people, at least for me, when I play the puzzle, again, it's that I did not even know you could possibly do this in Minecraft sort of thing.
I suppose so.
Okay.
Jesper's better at that than I am, though.
Okay, so then that's basically
Mm,
this one's a little more complicated, but
yeah.
I hope that breaks it down for
And
everybody.
this here is something we'll be covering.
Yeah, we'll talk
Uh,
about that another
it,
day. Okay, so in here, I don't know. What anything else?
Not really.
Any
That's about it for
particular
this
reason
puzzle.
behind the colors here? Red, yellow.
I went with red just because it's the puzzle branch and red is sort of the theme.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
red.
tried to mix it up a little. I went with green in the previous puzzle because it's kind of a matrixy thing.
Mhm,
Like you're loading the rooms from the disk or something. I don't
mhm.
know.
Okay,
But
and
yeah, it's kind of a mix of code and diversity one.
yeah, lots of stuff there. Okay, well let's head in here. Now this button is always ready to go. It's just that you can't access it until the door opens.
hmm There's nothing
And
special activating it. It's just always ready.
yep.
And if we press that button, we go to the last puzzle, which is sort of multi-parter, but it's the last puzzle.
Mhm, you hit it.
Where the aesthetics completely change.
All right. Well, that sums up the. This is we're at the final puzzle here, I guess. We're gonna talk about what do we call this one? The portal puzzle.
The portal puzzle.
The portal puzzle, which I love. I think you love it too. And you told me it's not really a puzzle, but I disagree.
Hmm,
We'll talk about that next time.
most of it's not a puzzle, but
It's
yeah.
one of those things that people wanted to do for so long.
Mm.
We came up with a way. Well, you came up with a way to do it in vanilla, which I
And I've
love.
actually come up with a much improved version of this
Hmm.
on my channel, Shameless Self Promotion, which I still haven't finished.
Okay, well,
But
we'll talk about that next time.
yeah, next time.
Any last words, Qwerty?
Yes, actually.
You, very good. That's wonderful. Okay, well, enjoy your Minecraft, everybody. We'll see you next time, and we'll head into the portal section. And we're also going to go over some bonus stuff after that episode, so look forward to
hmm
that. Bye for now.
hmm